Hi everybody, in this project I'm going to show you how to create action painting, or otherwise it's called expressive abstract art. And to create this piece of artwork we usually don't use brushes, but if you want to use a brush you can certainly use a brush. I'm going to test this out and work with a stick. For this project I'm going to use chopsticks if you have them. If not, you can also do this with just a stick from nature, right? Just go grab a stick from a tree if you have a tree in your backyard. If not, any kind of sticks would work. Also, you can use the back of the brush for that, or you can use the tip of the brush, but it's preferably to be done by sticks. So make sure your paint is wet, or it's liquid, I should say. So make sure it's a very thin paint. So what I did, I poured a lot of water in there simply to make this thin and to make this runny, because for this type of painting you really need thin paint. So one way is, if you are using bottles, like me for example, one way is you can just simply do this from the bottle. I'm going to do this with red, and it doesn't really matter actually how you put this texture here or what kind of dripping you do. And then as you do this, you can also move around, you can move the paper, you can switch it, you can use different directions. Next one, I'm going to use black, and for the black color I am going to use a stick this time. For example, let's see if this is going to work, because the paint has to be really thin for the stick to actually pick up the color. So it seems like it's not very thin for me. I'm simply going to do this with the bottle, so let's try one more time. And as you see here, because I put more pressure, the color is much thicker, and then it's very thin. It looks like I'm kind of like sketching because it's that thin. Alright, so the best thing, if you are using this kind of acrylics that I'm using, the best way to do it is simply by mixing this with water. Make sure you have water in there, it's thin, and then just pour this on top of the painting. If you want to try with sticks, it has to be different kind of paint. So the acrylic paint that we usually paint, it's not going to give you the technique and the texture, because I tried this with brush, and with brush it really doesn't work, doesn't do anything. But what you can do drops of paint. You can do the same thing with either the brush or the back of the brush. And I'm using black. So I have two colors for this painting. I'm using black and red. I'm going to put a few more colors actually. So it's a matter of simply playing with the technique and creating a few paintings, I would say, rather than just sticking with one. And then just when you mix the colors, you can be playful with them, right? So you can make circles, and sometimes I like to move them around a little bit, and when I move the paper, the colors blend together. So when you look at this, so see for example, it created like a green color. It creates very cool, very interesting blending, I would say. It's very interesting. It's fun to play with. I'm going to make a few of them actually with different colors. I'm going to do one more here with black because I kind of like the black because with black actually it allows me to create a lot of texture here, and black goes very well with different colors. So see how I'm playing around. You don't have to do only straight lines, you can go in circles and simply just play around. Black and yellow go very well together, but I'm going to use some pink this time maybe. And when I'm doing the painting, so see, I'm not going in lines, or I'm not repeating the same pattern or the same technique here. So I'm spreading this color and creating some blocks of color. And filling this with the same color. And this actually kind of creates this beautiful blend. And then maybe I'll put a bit of like turquoise here. It's like blue-green color. If you want to keep it the same with blocks of colors, you can do the blocks of color. Or otherwise, you can just do streaks of paint, just like we did with black. And I think it looks very interesting. It creates those beautiful color blocks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change a little bit. This time I'm simply going to squirt the paint. So this kind of painting, it's very fluent, it's very, I would say, very expressive. And probably a little bit of blue here. And then sometimes what I do, I simply use the back of the brush. You can use the back of the brush to spread the color. I always use this, instead of a stick, for example, you can always use the back of the brush rather than using the tip of the brush, because it certainly creates different texture. And that's it for this project. So hopefully you'll be able to create your own piece of artwork, put your own creativity, your own imagination, play around with color and try few different colors, try a few different techniques and see how it's going to work for you. If you are using the same paint that I used, this one doesn't work very well with simply putting the brush or a stick and then drip it. It works much better if you do it straight from the bottle. In order for you to be able to do this with either pieces of sticks or the back of the brush, you have to use house paint. So it has to be a specific paint, which is a bit synthetic, I would say, because this kind of paint, it's only like acrylic paint and water, and it doesn't really run very well with stick, but it runs pretty well straight from the bottle if you want to test it out and give it a try. All right, so thank you very much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Bye-bye.